Hey, welcome to another episode of the Not Scrum Done podcast. I'm your co-host, Adriana Marshall, and that's my amazing co-host.
Grand Scrum Master Scott. Greetings, everybody.
Today, we received a subscriber question. He wanted to know our thoughts on this particular topic. So he writes, I started using Scrum in 2004 and introduced it into a Fortune 50 company guided by Ken Schwaber, the co-founder of Scrum. I had no development background, but I learned the code after I started using Scrum. I feel that Scrum Masters should also develop, and I did that for nearly 10 years. I'd be interested in your thoughts. Well, I think it's super impressive to hear about his Scrum journey because 2004, not many people have been using this since 2004. And also that he really embraced that development side of it as well. I think just the experience is like commendable to continuously learning and continuously improving. I personally don't think a Scrum Master has to develop, especially for 10 years. I've never been a developer and I have team members that I still talk to today. We still have close relationships. If I needed a job or anything like that, I know they would recommend me. So I know that I was an effective Scrum Master. I had someone at my very first job out of college where I then transitioned to be a Scrum Master. I mentioned this in a previous video where I literally learned everything. I did help desk. I did project management. I wrote SQL. I wrote C sharp. Literally, they taught me everything, but I wasn't technically assigned to be a developer or had to be one. I was just willing to get my hands dirty, and I think people just respect someone that's willing to do that, but was I great at any of those things? Heck no. I was really good at being a scrum master, and someone actually wrote me a letter of recommendation, like, a few years ago, but that's like, I didn't have that development background, but he still had respect for my role and how I was able to work with him, so I those are my thoughts about it. What are your thoughts, Scott?
My thoughts that a Scrum Master should also develop. I would say I'm going to go against that. I'm thinking, well, especially now, I can see because as he identified 10 years ago, the Scrum Guide today is not the same as the Scrum Guide as it was back then. It has changed. The roles we to a point now where we have accountabilities. The Scrum Master have 12 accountabilities and a developer has 4 accountabilities. So I'm thinking about the Scrum values of focus, openness, courage, commitment, and respect, and I'm asking myself, can I do both of those roles at the same time and do all the 4 accountabilities there are for a developer and the 12 accountabilities I'm doing as a scrum master because the position has evolved from where it was 10 years ago. It's more clarity in terms of what we do, how we do it, and when we do it. So from that perspective, I would say I don't feel that a scrum master should also develop. Now that's from the Scrum Guide answer. Now let me put on my entrepreneur hat and give you that answer. As an entrepreneur, if I'm working for a company as a developer and a scrum master, I doubt very seriously they're giving me twice the pay. So I'm looking at myself and like, I think of myself more worthy than that to be a developer and a scrum master. And if I'm not getting, let's say in that case, a developer, you should be making $100,000. A scrum master, you should be making $100,000 if you're here in the United States. If my salary is not looking close to $200,000 for that one position, depending upon where you are, then I'm gonna be like, we need to do something differently here. Can do it, but should I do it? Is the question I'm thinking in my mind for those two reasons. I'm thinking about the Scrum Guide, and I'm also thinking about my paycheck and my contributions to my family at home, my skill set. No, my skill set is not free. And when I say that, I want you to think about when you hire somebody to come into your house and do work for you. You hire them to do a specific job. Okay. They probably capable of doing other things around your house, but without any more pay, they probably not going to do that work for you. And that's kind of how I operate in the workplace. John.
I learned technical skills after becoming a scrum master. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I thoroughly enjoy it, but not everyone has to in order to be effective. It was really beneficial to me. I still think, and I've always thought this, you have to understand how your team delivers work. So you do need to understand that background. I just don't think you have to be the person that's doing it in order to be effective because there's a whole lot of other things that you have to do as a scrum master that aren't related to just coding. So coaching the organization doesn't require coding. Coaching the product owner doesn't require you to understand that much about coding, doesn't require you to have been a developer or be developing the product in order to adequately coach them in product backlog management and communicating with the team in facilitating events or facilitating meetings with stakeholders. None of those require that type of background. But when you work with developers long enough, you, one, begin to learn how long things take. There was one time we had a new product owner and he's like, oh, this is like really easy. Here are the requirements. Here's what it's going to be. I'm like, that's a month. He's like, no, 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 this should be like a week. I'm like, no, it's a month. A developer comes in and breaks down every single thing and goes, this is a month. I'm like, okay, cool, fantastic. So you end up learning these things and you don't have to develop. You just have to be paying attention. You have to care. You have to be a sponge.
A Scrum Master and also to learn development. I want to give you congratulations for that. Keep learning, keep growing. I just hope that you get paid as a developer and you get paid as a Scrum Master to combine that to give yourself a raise.
Thanks for the question. If you have a question or you have a comment, leave it down below. Even if it's not related to this, we'll turn it into a video. You can also join our email subscriber list. We are giving exclusives to our email subscribers, and you can reach out to us via LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn's are in the description. And as always, if you made it to the end of this video, that means you have an attention span greater than a goldfish.
Be legendary, everyone, but not Scrum Dumb. Have an amazing week.